So today I'm going to talk to you about how to create an annotated bibliography. So far you should have a piece of paper on your desk that looks like this. You should have these strips of paper that you used when you were writing down your list of sources when you were researching those earlier this week. And if you have your notes, it will also be useful because the summary you put on them for Cornell note format will come in better in a few minutes. So step one, you're going to be typing this on the computer. I'm going to be demonstrating on a piece of paper so as not to confuse everybody. The first thing you're going to do when you're creating your bibliography is you are going to be listing the author's last name. So you'll start off on the far left-hand side, and you will give me the author's last name. This is my little sample one here. We're going to use this. The author's name is Brian Jones. So you'll notice according to your directions, you have author's last name, comma, first name, period. So you would start out with Jones, comma, Brian, period. Now, sometimes you will have an author if it is not listed, in which case you may either label it as unknown author, so unknown, comma, author, period, and you would label it in alphabetical order under U for unknown, or you can leave it off entirely and simply start with the name of the article. If you start with the name of the article, that's fine. Then at that point in time, the title of the article, your first word in the article, you would alphabetize by that. So in this case, our title of our article is Jane Smith's article. So we would write Jane Smith's article. And then quotation marks, and then you'll notice there has to be a period before the quotation marks, so you would place one there. Now I'm going to keep writing on this next line until I get to the end of a line. When I get to the end of that line, I'm going to indent when I get to my next line. And every future line I'm also going to indent. But even if your article, it only takes up half of this space, you keep going until you get to the end of a line before you start indenting again. So we have Jane Smith's article. The other thing you should know is, remember in your article, every word in your article should be capitalized in the title, except for prepositions that are, I believe it's 3 letters or less, that are not part of the first word of the title. So like of, in, a, those don't need to be capitalized in your title unless they're the first word of the title. After your title, you're going to put the title of the web page. Here we have our name of our web page is any web page. So I'm going to write any web page. And you will notice that according to our directions, any web page, the name of the website is in italics. That's why I made mine a little tilted. After that, you're going to have the name of the publisher. Here we have the History Channel for our publisher. So the History Channel, followed by a comma. Now, if your name of your web page and your publisher are the same, you do not need to list them twice. You only need to list it once. You only would list both if they are separate. And then on mine, I think I'm going to go on to the next line because I'm running out of space here. The date of publication. Here I had you guys write down the date you accessed it. Sometimes you can find the date of publication. If you can, use it. It will either be at the top of the page. Sometimes at the very bottom of the page it will say the date it was last updated. You can go with that. Sometimes it'll have the year, sometimes it'll have the day, the month, and the year. Putting it in MLA format, of course, is the day, month, year. So May 17th, 2018 in MLA ends up as 17 May 2018. Then after the date of publication, you have a comma, and then the URL. That's the www part. www, and this is going to be fake web page / history of me, and then a period at the very end. So now you can put that information aside. The next part to make this an annotated bibliography is you have to actually give an annotation or an explanation as to why this site was useful in the creation of your project. So after your bibliography portion, you're going to write the word annotation, then you're going to put a colon, and you're going to give me 2 to 3 sentences about how these notes were useful, or how this web page was useful. How these notes and this web page was useful for your project. All right, so when it's done, it will look like this. Let me zoom in a little bit there. And then you go to the next person, the next strip of paper that you have with the next author, and you start over again, listing with author's last name, page number, etc. You do it in alphabetical order by the first word. When you're starting your document on the computer, you're going to give me an MLA formatted heading. Your title will be Annotated Bibliography, and then you will start this today.